And as this legislative term comes to a close, Senator Marco Rubio says he's proud of the accomplishments that have been made on behalf of the people of Florida.
Rubio held a news conference today to spell out those accomplishments, but was forced to spend much of that time answering questions about the shutdown in Washington. Here's CBS 4's Lauren Pastrana.
They're just dumb. They don't really achieve anything at the end of the day.
Florida Senator Marco Rubio calls the current partial government shutdown purely political.
On the one hand, the president has made it clear that this is a priority of his. He clearly campaigned on the wall, and it strikes me that the Democrat objection to it is largely driven not by an argument that border security is unnecessary, although that's ultimately what you conclude from their position, but by the argument that they want to deny him a political priority, which I don't think that that is a valid reason to do this.
In the wide-ranging press conference Friday, initially called to tout his office's legislative accomplishments over the last 2 years, Rubio spent much of the time answering questions about the stalemate between the president and Democrats over $5 billion in funding for border security.
It's not $5 billion for a wall. It's $5 billion for the top 10 border security priorities and a broader Southern Border Security Initiative plan, of which about 215 miles of wall or fencing is a part of it. That includes not just new wall, but a part of that 215 is existing improvements to current barriers. But it's not just a border wall.
On Friday morning, President Trump tweeted, quote, "We will be forced to close the southern border entirely if the obstructionist Democrats do not give us the money to finish the wall."
I'm not sure what he means by fully shut it down. The majority of the traffic at the border is commercial.
Right. And
I would imagine that people in Texas and other border states whose economies rely on it would be less than enthused. There are people who on a regular basis cross that border every day to work and come back. So I'm not sure what he means by fully close the border. You'll have to direct that question to the White House. I fully support the notion that we need to fully secure, to the extent possible, that border. Our ability to provide assistance to people.
In a video summing up his past 2 years in the Senate, Rubio promoted his legislative victories, including the Stop School Violence Act and the expansion of the child tax credit. But he acknowledges the priority now is getting the government back up and running and ensuring federal workers get back on the job and get paid.
What do you want to say to those people who want to get paid? This doesn't mean much to them right now, but you have this opportunity to tell them what you feel.
I feel terrible for federal employees in the agencies who are some are working and not getting paid because they've been deemed essential, and others have been furloughed and told not to come. They will be paid eventually, and we've always done retroactive pay, and hopefully we can put that in place before the next paycheck is due, which I believe federal government employees, many will be paid again on the 4th.
That's if a deal is reached by then. As of now, both the House and Senate have adjourned until Monday at the earliest. Senator Rubio says the initial plan was to hold this press conference about his legislative accomplishments last week before the shutdown, but he was called back up to D.C. And he says he's ready to go back again as soon as there's a deal for him to vote on. Lauren Pastrana, CBS 4 News.